Hey everybody, it's October 2. We're going to do a quick update here on the Gabby and Brian news. Lots and lots of people are looking for Brian Laundrie. He is the fiance and boyfriend of Gabby Petito, who was found murdered on the up in Wyoming, right? Yeah. Anyway, and we still haven't gotten any official details about the autopsy regarding how she actually died. However, we are continuing to get updates on the search for Brian Laundrie. Lots and lots of updates. More of these again on the Appalachian Trail, that there's rumors that he's on there. North Carolina authorities have investigating a flurry of suggestions that Brian Laundrie is hiding out on the Appalachian Trail. Sheriff's offices in Watauga and Avery counties, which are both north of where I am here in Morganton, North Carolina, have received more than a half a dozen tips about Gabby Petito's 23-year-old boyfriend. It has also been a focus of a private search team led by Dwayne Dog the Bounty Hunter Chapman, whose daughter Lisa Chapman tweeted a plea for experienced hiking/survivalists near the Appalachian Trail to join the search. Anyway, so she says if you have hunters in your family near the AT and NC, tell them to check your game cameras, she tweeted, asking locals to widely spread Laundrie's image. The Appalachians is understood to be an area familiar to Laundrie, who previously reported to have lived there once for several months. Anyway, all the suggestions, the calls to police have led to nothing so far. Watauga County deputies, that's up near where Boone is. Boone's a big college town of Appalachian State. So there's probably a lot of people walking around Boone that kind of look like him, you know. Anyway, Watauga County deputies pulled over a car to investigate a possible lead, but led to nothing. Watauga County officers have a detective monitoring a mass of online posts claiming that people are seeing Brian Laundrie in Boone. We have been monitoring social media for alleged sightings or information of Brian being in this area, but nothing has yet been verified, according to Watauga County Sheriff Len Hageman. Most of the mainstream news outlets yesterday had more reports of that police body cam footage from Moab police there on August the 12th, where Brian and Gabby were just, interrogated, so to speak. He had some cuts on his face. She had some sort of a cut on the side of her face. And they took Gabby aside. And according to the ABC News last night with David Muir, they were reporting that some additional body camera footage had been released. And they were getting more into the talk that Gabby had with the police officer, talking about how Gabby had slapped her around a bit. And that. So that, again, wasn't really new news, but they were claiming, at least on the newscast, that was new reporting and a new body camera segment that had not been at least looked at heavily. But, they released over an hour of body cam footage, so I guess they were re-looking at something. And if you look at it, yeah, you definitely can tell that he had been, harassing, abusing her. So, yeah. Anyway, this is from the Moab Police Department. We've seen chunks of this video before, but the news media has been hyping this last chunk as something that hadn't been investigated as much by the reporters. You know what we're getting? One of the things we're getting here on this story right now is what we call in the news business, or at least what I call repackaging. They want to keep the story going. They know all these media outlets, whether they be websites, whether they be television stations, whether they be cable news outlets, whatever, there's not a lot of news coming out now, so they're kind of digging deep into what's already been released and trying to flesh out other stories in there. They're kind of rewatching the body cam footage, which was over an hour, and kind of, putting out other things, claiming it's new news, when this, has been, the body camera footage has been out for, a week and a half now? So anyway, we're getting a lot of that, the repackaging, refreshing the story, throw in one little new element. It was like what that story I was just talking about with the AT sightings there in North Carolina. That's a story from yesterday, October 1 in the New York Post. And most of that story is kind of days old, but there's some new information in there, thrown in, maybe a line or two of new info with a lot of other stuff. But, that's typical for media coverage, until some other big news comes out, until we hear more about the autopsy report, until we hear more concrete sightings of Brian or some other news like that. They're just going to keep deep diving into what's already been released and trying to refresh it. Again, this is the Independent, which is in England. A lot of the British tabloid media has been all over this story, obviously. And this is this October 2nd lead story here about Brian Laundrie's sister making some statements on Good Morning America. I think one of them was that she hadn't seen her brother since September 1st, or hadn't contacted her brother since September 1st, when it was clear that her brother was still with the parents that first week of September on those various camping expeditions at Fort DeSoto there, south of St. Petersburg. So, again, fight between a protester and neighbor at Laundrie's home, and a lot of stuff going on there. People are walking around with bullhorns and signs. I don't know. Whatever you think, I think that's wrong. People shouldn't be protesting in front of the parents' house there. I think that's just a little too much, and I don't know why the police don't do something to stop that. But, whatever. All right, folks, that ought to do it for this little update here on October the 2nd. If you see any interesting clips, links, whatever coming up over the weekend, please let me know at camodave@gmx.com. Thank you for watching.